Welcome back into the Sports Source. This segment brought to you by Scrambled Jake's Breakfast Company. When it comes to Knoxville's best breakfast, it is no contest, and the polls around town hand the prize to Scrambled Jake's year after year. Farm fresh ingredients from local farms, creative takes on classic Southern breakfast dishes, and everything from Bloody Marys to mimosas to just outstanding coffee. Rocky Hill at North Shore, get out there and see them this week. It's a great place to start your day, great place to go for brunch, whether you're doing it before you go to office, whether you're bringing people in to do a meeting there, or if you're just meeting with friends. Scrambled Jake's Breakfast Company. All right, this is going to be a quick segment. I want to get to the UT stuff, but I thought it'd be interesting that Jeremy Pruitt is in the news this week. A couple of, columnists are saying, hey, Alabama's got a defensive coordinator opening. Why don't they go get Jeremy Pruitt? Well, for one, Alabama doesn't know what the NCAA is going to do to Jeremy Pruitt, so that's not going to happen yet. But my question is, I understand he broke rules that were rules, but they're no longer rules anymore. So does the NCAA, is it right for them to say, nope, we're going to give you a 3-year show cause or whatever because you were giving $60,000 to somebody, when it's now legal to give somebody $13 million if you have it, or in Tennessee's case, $8 million? Does the NCAA are they in the right to punish him like that? Or should they just say, what are you going to do? It's a new world. Get out there and give the money, Jeremy. What do you do, boys? Thoughts?
I think you still need to emphasize the rules that were in place. I mean, there were fast food bags in play.
Chick-fil-A, not McDonald's.
I don't think that's connected to the NIL.
but $60,000 compared to $8 million at Tennessee, same school.
I think what they do is they still enforce the rules, but they maybe take a little bit off of them and not punish him as hard. I think that's the approach. But to just say, it's wide open now, I don't see the NCAA doing that, even though they don't have a lot of teeth.
No, and I don't think they're going to, but my question is, should they?
No.
Should they give him a pass or not? Okay, no.
I'm going to say that they should give him a pass. I mean, even back when I played, everyone knew that a lot of these rules made no sense at all. I mean, you would have runners in bars that would come up to players, buy them a drink, and you'd lose a year of eligibility. And I think a lot of this stuff was never really based on what's actually right, paying the players for what's there. It's more for the NCAA to make money, acknowledge that you were wrong with it, take your money from the TV deals, and let Pruitt go. Maybe put in something, hey, you can't coach in the SEC where you're going to be competing against Tennessee. That seems fair, but the rules never made sense. Let it go.
I still think he should face punishment, and I think some of that punishment should be recruiting restrictions, how much he can go out on the road, contact with prospects, whatever they would come up with.
He can't eat at Chick-fil-A.
Right. Yeah. Let's not go too far down with that kind of punishment. But I think he should be hireable. And you can hire somebody with a show cause. It's just, it creates obvious challenges. So I would restrict what he can do in recruiting, but if he's hired by Alabama or anybody else, I would not have a problem with it.
The precedent that's been set is no matter what he does, no matter what the NCAA says, just appeal the penalty. And when you appeal it, just like in all these hardship cases, the transfer portal before all the rules were in place with that, they'll say, well, we'll wash our hands, do whatever you need to do, just let us keep getting our cut and let us keep putting the blue disc on your product. Yep. That's the way it goes. These rules are silly. I am against what happened in that time based on what the rules were.
Mm-hmm. He broke the rules as they were.
He broke the rules as they were. But we're looking at situations now where there are rules broken everywhere and there's virtually no punishment. And even your program gets better when you break rules, even if those rules are flimsy. So what am I saying? I'm saying he's going to face some sort of penalty. Mm-hmm. If he appeals it, the NCAA will gradually move away from it and it will disappear.
Which is something that has changed because that's after they overstepped in Penn State and got lawsuits thrown at them, after they got caught trying to overstep it with Miami. You were over there at the time, so I don't know if you view it that way, but they lost their teeth. I mean, it used to be a show cause penalty was death. Yeah. Now they've lost so much strength that it's really not anymore, and they do kind of back away on the appeal process. There was a day when they did have some teeth, but it was because they overstepped it in a couple of areas. They lost their teeth. What do you got?
Yeah, just real quick. Right now, the NCAA has gone towards helping the student athlete and not being as strict on punishing kids that had nothing to do with it at those existing programs. The coaches are the ones that are still getting the penalty. So
Yeah.
even without teeth, that's another reason why I think Pruitt will still get something.
I do too. I was talking more about what should they do, and here's why. If they come out and drop the hammer on him, they are inviting every talk show in the country and every columnist in the country to say, my gosh, you're punishing a man for some $60,000 when now you're allowing the wild, wild west. You're giving $8 million. They're asking for it if they drop the hammer on it.
Right.
They'd be better off in a PR sense. If I were their PR guy, I'd be saying, slap him on the wrist and move on. Let's not draw any more attention to the fact that it's now lawlessness, that we're now living in Tombstone, Arizona. Right. Just move on, hit him with something, but don't crush him and ban him for years.
Well, if they're lighter on Jeremy Pruitt, they have to be lighter on Tennessee, right?
Right.
You would
Tennessee's not
think,
done here.
yes, you would think.
Well, I think on top of that too, they also have to realize they're in a partnerships with the universities and with the coaches, because if they overstep and they overstep too far in this market right now, it's not hard to see an NFL or maybe even the XFL to create a competitor to the NCAA.
Or, yeah, schools breaking. It's another reason right now they're trying to
Because right now, I mean,
recreate it.
And let's
right
be
now
honest,
you could do it without the NCAA.
some of our listeners are like, well, it's Alabama, so of course they're going to win.
All right, there we go. There we go. All right, when we come back, Nico Iamaleava has moved to the #1 slot on one recruiting rankings list of the top prospects in the country, passing Arch Manning, who went to Texas. Daniel had a great question yesterday that we're going to bring up next and discuss on the show, and that is, which of those two hotshot quarterbacks is going to wind up with a better quarterback coach? That's next. Coming back on the Sports Source.
Miss an episode? Catch up at sportsource.tv or our YouTube channel.